Hey MTG fans, welcome to another episode of All's Fair in Love and Lore. This week we have a creature type spotlight on the Kobolds. Kobolds are a primarily red with a splash of black creature type that resembles somewhat of a cross between goblins and imps. They were featured in the Legends set and have had brief reappearances since then. Quick side quest on the Legends set. Legends was the 7th set in Magic the Gathering and was released in 1994, which is almost as old as I am. And it introduced a lot of newness to Magic gameplay. It introduced legends, unique creatures that represent important characters in a set story. The original type line, Summon Legend, was later changed to Legendary Creature, and they were given creature types. It introduced legendary lands, unique lands which represent important places in a set story. The Legend Rule. Under the original Legend Rule, if a legend or legendary land was on the battlefield, no player could cast the same legend or play the same land, respectively. Under current rules, if a player controls 2 or more legendary permanents with the same name, that player chooses one of them and the rest are put into their owner's graveyards. It introduced multicolored cards which require more than one color play, and it introduced enchant world cards, now world enchantments. These are enchantments which change the playing environment for all players. When an enchant world comes into play, all other enchant world cards in play are destroyed. Legends also introduced some new mechanics, such as bands with others, poison counters, and rampage. Okay, back to the Kobolds. On the plane of Dominaria, the Kobolds are known to inhabit the Kerr Ridges, situated on Terisier, within the fortress known as Kerr Keep. The Kerr Ridges, sometimes simply referred to as the Kerrs, were a rugged mountainous expanse situated in the former Falagi territory of eastern Terisier, on the plane of Dominaria. Stretching across the landscape, the Kerr Ridges served as a natural boundary dividing the western desert from the Great Desert nestled within Terisier's heartland. Notable landmarks within this formidable range included the Caves of Koilos, Urza's Tower, and the infamous Kobold stronghold known as Kerr Keep. According to Goblin lore, Kerr translates to Big Mountain, aptly describing the imposing peaks of the region. Additionally, Mishra constructed his foundry using the trunk of a colossal fallen tree nestled within the ridges. In contemporary times, the Kerr Ridges have become integrated into New Argive. However, this once majestic landscape is now haunted by the presence of the dragon Prosh, who has ascended to godlike status among the Kobolds, casting a shadow of fear and reverence across the land. In the Kerr region of Dominaria, the legendary dragon Prosh reigns supreme. Every dawn heralds the majestic flight of Prosh as he controls the skies, surveying the lands he claims as his domain and hunting his prey. The distant sound of his wing beats strikes fear into the hearts of his subjects, driving them to seek refuge from the flames of his dragonfire. Prosh is notorious for his merciless retribution, often devastating entire villages as punishment for the slightest trespass into his territory. Those who fail to pay homage to him face a fiery demise. Some kobolds offer themselves willingly to their mighty overlord, hoping to secure mercy for their kin. However, Prosh is a relentless predator, and the sacrifice of his supposed allies only fuels his power. The central principle of kobold worship revolves around emulating the deeds of their draconic deity, which primarily entails pillaging, burning, and sowing terror wherever they roam. It is believed that kobolds who exemplify these ideals may be reborn as dragons hatched from Prosh's own eggs. One fateful day, kobold leader Rogar conceived a radical notion. To emulate their deity, he must ascend to godhood himself. From that pivotal moment, he seized the mantle of tyranny, exacting tribute and sacrifice on par with that offered to Prosh. Rograk, Rogar's son, could not abide witnessing his father ravage their own kin, especially when there were countless other targets for their plunder. Thus, he spearheaded a rebellion against his father, striving to steer the kobolds of Kerr Keep back onto the path of virtue. Despite the reverence shown towards Prosh, the current ruler of Kerr Keep, Rosnacht, harbors a daring ambition. She seeks to overthrow Prosh and liberate her people from his tyrannical rule. You go, sister. Even through the tumultuous history of Dominaria, the kobolds have displayed remarkable resilience, enduring for centuries within their lair relatively unscathed by the calamities that befell other regions. The fairy himself likened their endurance to that of cockroaches, impressed by their ability to survive against all odds. Though not renowned for their military prowess, kobolds have been responsible for the destruction of entire regions. This devastation is not due to strategic warfare, but rather stems from their insatiable hunger. When driven by starvation, kobolds will consume anything non-rock, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Honestly, relatable. All right, let's talk magic cards. The Kobolds of the Legends set are notorious for having a 0 casting cost. Crazy. Here are some noteworthy cards associated with the Kobolds and their story. Roga of Ker Keep, Roga Ker Keep Overlord, Rograk, son of Roga, Rosnacht, heir of Roga, Ker Keep, Kobolds of Ker Keep, Prosh, Sky Raider of Ker, Rock of Ker Ridges, Scourge of Ker Ridges, Tyrant of Ker Ridges, Crimson Kobolds, Crookshank Kobolds, Kobold Drill Sergeant, Kobold Overlord, Kobold Taskmaster, Kobold Warcaller, Minion of the Mighty, Nogi Draco Zealot, and Taunting Overlord. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode on the Kobolds. If you have any suggestions or special requests for characters, places, or events in MTG history, leave a comment. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and as always, thanks for hanging out with me.